an expert driver. Expert versus good knowledge. That's what I'm talking about now. You can have an expert driver. Expertise has to do with practical. It must involve practical. You can have an expert auditor. You can have an expert programmer, DBA, and the rest of those things. You must be doing it is hands-on. You can only become an expert even if you had certification on it, classroom knowledge or training on it. You can only become an expert if you are hands-on. You are doing it practical. You can have expert designer, expert tailor, expert mechanic. You are expertise or experts in what you do that involves practical. That's that. Good knowledge. Good knowledge. You will be said to have a good knowledge if you are not hands-on. The knowledge you have is through reading of reports. You are head of a group, or you are brought to become a head of a group. They send you reports. You review the report. From the report, you get information, you ask questions. You now have idea. That is when they can say, or you can say, you have a knowledge of that work. You can even say you have an idea. At best, maybe because you have not been doing it for years, you now have good understanding. That's when the word good knowledge comes in. Normally, first is you have knowledge, then you cannot be claiming to have good knowledge. Not that you call yourself an expert without having a practical background, technical background. And I can give you an example. I remember in those days, I used to work in one company. You know, a man, if he's talking, because the people he's talking to, you know, there are people who don't have good idea about what he's talking about. You know, they already brought the man in because they want to stop the chances of somebody becoming a CTO. They brought him in. At times, if he's talking, he will say, let me put on my expert cap. Let me look at it from expert perspective. Let me put on my CTO cap. And I'll be laughing inside of me. So when he say one or two things, you ask one question, then there'll be problem. But because, you know, of the position, he wants to be seen as an authority, you now put on argument. But the people he's talking to will know who is right and who was wrong. And that is the situation you always find yourself when you make such an error. Because you will not always want to be flawed. Right? So, if somebody who does not have a practical knowledge or background, you have not worked on any server, you have not worked on anything, maybe when you now come to that company, you now start shutting up and shutting down server. You know, you now start doing one or two things when the people leave. At what point do you get to becoming an expert? An expert is somebody that people look up to. Somebody who will sit in their office and people will bring a problem to say, I was doing this, I had issue. You can now say, okay, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? They will tell you yes. You can say, okay, try this. You will say, have you done this? They will say, no. Okay, go and do it first. You'll be telling them the results that they will get if they do it, because you have passed through that stage. You are not an expert, you are not an authority. Right? So, he's an expert. An expert is somebody who has passed through practical stage and an authority. In the course of working, you have passed or you have discovered so many problems you have solved, and those problems are even posted now. People are making reference to it. In those days when I was in IT, I can give you two things that are there on Oracle today. They are on Oracle. They are from me. You know, there was a problem between 12 o'clock. They started They could not resolve until 5 o'clock on Oracle. They had to come and bring me. I was in the hospital. They removed the drop. They took me to the bank. I resolved the problem within 15 minutes. Within that 4 hours, 12 that the problem started at 5 o'clock, they have taken it to different countries. You know, Oracle, they have representatives in different countries, and they change duties. This one could not resolve within the time limit. It closed, hand over to somebody. And that's how they were doing it till 5 o'clock. The bank could not finish the end of day that day until when it was 12. So the boss just said, go and call him. They came to bring me from the hospital, remove the drip, they took me there, finished the thing, I resolved it. That thing, that solution is on Oracle website today. You know, they will now assign number to it, and people will be making reference to it if they don't have that similar issue. I can give you another instance, about 2 or 3 of them, dead servers, dead this thing that were resuscitated. But because of time, let me move to the next topic. So that